Hi, my name is Enet, aka the Damara guy. A couple of days ago, the Namibian president made a call to the private sector to employ a vast majority of the unemployed people. The country has been going through an unemployment crisis. I think globally there's been an economic crisis, and a lot of companies have laid off. This crisis obviously started with the COVID-19 pandemic, and then was further exacerbated by the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, which has placed a massive weight on the global supply chains of various services or products that drive service delivery in most sectors of economy. So a lot of companies, obviously, we all know this. A lot of companies let people go. There were mass retrenchments, layoffs happening everywhere. But recently, the Namibian government, or the president rather, made a call to private sector to employ more people, and which is, I think this is a really good call by a government or president to make. Reach out to his private counterparts and say, look guys, we're dealing with a crisis. How can we help each other? What can you do? How can you absorb these people? Because these people are not only qualified, that you've got experienced people that are also looking for jobs. You've got critical people in critical sectors like statisticians, economists, lawyers, mathematicians. You've got, I don't know if you've got doctors, but I'm sure you've got nurses. I know of a lot of nurses who are just at home looking for a job. These are teachers, incredibly important role players in an economy that are unemployed right now, and that is not good for our country. But in response to the government's call, I think, or the president's call, government, president, same thing, right? But the problem with asking private sector to employ more people is that it shouldn't just be an ask from the president's side. There should be a series of interventions done by the government, and the president has, I think, can call it a state of emergency and then veto some of these rights or some of these policies, where he can then make changes that would enable private sector to employ more people. I mean, I'm a business consultant, and when I do costings of companies, just to look at the company books, a lot of the money goes to employment, finding new talent, recruiting new talent, keeping existing talent, improving existing talent, and with it goes medical aid costs, all the added on costs of having employment, of having employees, having a team, social security costs, medical benefits, holiday benefits, and all of that. And then you've also got, like I said, you've got to train your employees. You've got to continuously look for fresh people. You've got to find the best people. So the entire HR bill of a company is extremely high. And on top of that, in Namibia, we've got a 32% corporate tax rate. Now, it's very unpopular. It's a very unpopular opinion I'm going to share now. I think the biggest contributory factor that Namibia has contributing towards unemployment is that we've got a high minimum wage bill. All right, our minimum wage is extremely high, and as a company, if I am to employ a health professional, the bar is set so high that I'd rather have the three guys that are already working work overtime and add a little bit onto their salary, right? So if we look at stuff like that, reduce structurally, obviously, and strategically not the unemployment, but the salary bill, the wage bill, reduce that a little bit, and definitely reduce the rate of doing business. I mean, the corporate tax rate in Namibia is incredibly high. I can't be making $30 million and giving 32% of that to the government. You're forcing me to downsize on my operation. You're forcing me to, without growing externally, to sort of grow my asset base. There's a lot of business tricks that I can pull to not pay that amount of tax, legally, that is speaking. And one of them is not employing more people. So the government's call, or the president's call to employ more people in an economy that is doing terribly at the moment, in an economy or in a country that demands a high price of me as a business owner to do business, it's a bad call. Rather, Mr. President, look at how we can redress the taxation issue and make that more comfortable, give business a breathing room, reduce the minimum wage bill. Look, it doesn't have to be across sectors, look at various sectors that really do not need a high income level, or salary bill. If we can reduce some of these things and make business or doing business conducive and profitable for business owners, I'm sure people will want to employ all of these talented people that are just at home, people that are struggling every day, this ingenious people with beautiful ideas, but they can't get into the doors because the moment they sit across the table on an interview panel, a lot of people get the words, "You are overqualified," and overqualified just means that we can't afford you. So if we fix the affordability of employment in Namibia and then we reduce the tax rates, we might just be able to fight against the high unemployment rates. Cheers.